Good morning, all of you. In the last lecture, we were discussing the whether the a given reaction will follow SN1 mechanism or SN2 mechanism. And so, whether it follows SN1 or SN2, it depends upon the four different factors. And so, these all four different factors, which we discussed in the last lecture, are the nature of substrate. Then the second is nature of living group. Third factor is the nature of nucleophile, and the fourth is your nature of solvent. And so here we can say the effect of substrate or the effect of living group or the effect of nucleophile or the effect of solvent on the reactions, whether it will follow SN1 or SN2 path. So the first factor that we are supposed to discuss, that is the effect or nature of substrate molecule. And so when we were studying the mechanisms, that is by SN1 mechanism and SN2 mechanism, we see that in SN2 mechanism we have considered the example, that is the hydrolysis of methyl chloride, methyl bromide. And in the SN1 mechanism we have discussed the hydrolysis of tertiary butyl bromide. So the methyl bromide and the tertiary butyl bromide. If we see these two substrate molecules, we can just compare that one is methyl bromide having the carbon with 3 hydrogens. Here, this is the tertiary carbon where the 3 methyl groups are attached. And so, here methyl bromide undergoes SN2 reaction, which proceeds with the simultaneous attack of the nucleophile and the breaking of the CBr bond. Whereas the SN1 reaction proceeds with formation of a carbocation, and here the two steps are taking place. That is, the first step is the formation of carbocation and second step is the attack of the nucleophile. So if we go on looking towards the molecules with, suppose, the halide attached to the primary carbon atom, then the halogen attached to the secondary carbon, and here it's a tertiary. So methyl group, primary carbon atom, the secondary carbon atom, or the secondary alkyl halide, secondary and tertiary alkyl halides. So here in SN1 mechanism, the stability of the carbocation is considered, and so the attack of the nucleophile takes place either from both the sides, that is front side or the back side attack is possible. Whereas in methyl bromide, that is SN2 mechanism, it proceeds, the attack of the nucleophile takes place from the back side only, because the molecule is less crowded. And if you see the attack of the nucleophile in the tertiary carbocation, from the backside attack is not possible due to the crowding, that is the bulky methyl groups are present, whereas the nucleophile cannot attack from the backside. And so in this hydrolysis reaction, and here in the tertiary carbocation which is obtained, when it forms a carbocation, the hybridization changes from sp3 to sp2, and the bond angle of this molecule changes from 109 to 120 degrees Celsius, whereas there is a release in the steric strain of the molecule. And so the rate of the SN2 reaction goes on decreasing. The rate of SN2 reaction, the rate of SN2 reaction decreases from methyl bromide to ethyl bromide to isopropyl bromide and to tertiary. And so the rate of SN1 reaction goes on increasing from, it increases the rate of SN1 or SN1 goes on increasing from methyl bromide to ethyl, ethyl bromide to isopropyl bromide, and isopropyl bromide to tertiary butyl bromide. And so the rate of reaction changes as the substrate of the nature of the substrate changes from primary to secondary, secondary to tertiary. And so in this way, we can again plot a graph to show the effect of substrate. So here, by plotting a graph of the effect of substrate and the rate of reaction. So here, if it is methyl bromide, then ethyl bromide, which contains primary carbocation, then isopropyl bromide, which contains secondary carbocation, and tertiary butyl bromide containing tertiary carbocation, and the rate of reaction is considered. And so here, if you see, the rate of SN2 reaction is higher, and as you go on from methyl bromide to ethyl and ethyl to isopropyl and then to again tertiary, here the rate of SN1 is higher, and so the rate of reaction goes on decreasing from tertiary butyl bromide to isopropyl and isopropyl to ethyl bromide and ethyl bromide to methyl bromide. Whereas here the rate of SN2 reaction goes on decreasing from methyl bromide to ethyl bromide to isopropyl bromide, and isopropyl bromide to tertiary butyl bromide. And so the stabilization of the positive charge in the SN1 reaction, it's governed by the different factors, that is the inductive effect, resonance effect, and hyperconjugation. And so the molecule prefers SN1 rather than SN2. So in this way, the effect of the substrate takes place on the rate of SN1 and SN2 reactions. And so depending upon the structure of the substrate molecule, the mechanism can be decided before proceeding to the reaction. And so in the next effect, that is the effect of the leaving group, effect of the leaving group, effect of the leaving group. So in this we have seen that the in any reaction, that is SN1 or SN2, alkyl group and the leaving group is present, and so the leaving group plays a vital role because in both the reactions the CX bond is broken in the first step only, and that is the rate determining step. And so how it affects the rate of the reaction. So a group which departs easily is said to be a good living group, is said to be a good living group. And so when the group which departs easily is termed as your good living group, and the energy required is always less, it will be less. And so the good living group will certainly increase the rate of the reaction. And so it depends upon the factor that the bond between the living group and the carbon must be carbon and living group. The bond must be weak. And so this is one of the factor. And second thing, when the living group departs, it must be stable. It must be stable. And when it is stable, then it can relieve it easily. And so a good living group, what is a good living group? So good living group is a conjugate base is a conjugate base of a strong acid of a strong acid. And so now the question arises, what are the strong acids? So if you see, and we are all knowing that the the strong acids, we are always saying that there are different acids, that is hydrogen iodide, hydrogen bromide, hydrogen chloride, and hydrogen fluoride. So, which is a stronger acid? So, as per our knowledge, or where oftenly we say that hydrochloric acid is more stronger acid because the bond formed between hydrogen and chlorine is very strong. Because and the hydrogen fluoride is the most strongest acid because the bond is more strong. But this concept is not correct. What is a strong acid? Acid is a substance which gives H plus ions. So out of all these four molecules, which will give more number of ions easily? So as HF is having a stronger bond, the breaking of this bond is difficult than hydrogen chloride, which is difficult than hydrogen bromide, which is difficult than hydrogen iodide. Means here hydrogen iodide bond breaks more easily because iodine is less electronegativity is less, and the size of iodine, atomic size of iodine, is greater than bromide, which is greater than chloride, which is greater than fluorine. And so the hydrogen iodide is the strongest acid than hydrogen bromide, which is strongest acid than hydrogen chloride, which is strongest acid than hydrogen fluoride. And so the conjugate base of hydrogen iodide, the conjugate base of hydrogen iodide is I minus. So this is the conjugate base of a strongest acid, of a strong acid. And so I minus is a good living group, is a good living group. And so here hydrogen fluoride is the weak acid, and so conjugate base F minus should be a strong conjugate base. So it will be, and that's why the I minus is considered to be a good living group as it is the conjugate base of a strong acid. And so how it acts, now here it is interesting to study that I minus is not only a good living group, but it acts as a good nucleophile also. I minus is a good nucleophile also. And so the always there is a question that I minus acts as a good nucleophile and good living group. How? So here, if we study the example of two reactions, that is in first alkyl chloride on hydrolysis, if you see the reaction, you will get ROH plus HCl, and so the reaction is found to be very slow reaction. The reaction is very slow. But if you see R minus on hydrolysis, that is alkyl iodide on hydrolysis, will give you alcohol plus HI, and this is found to be a fast reaction. This is found to be a fast reaction. So the reaction B is more faster, or the reaction second is more faster, because I minus is a good living group, and so it breaks the bond easily, and so here it acts as a, here I minus is a good living group. Here it's a good living group. But further, if you see that if this reaction is catalyzed by Ki, if this reaction is catalyzed by Ki, see the effect that here the Ki plays an important role. When we say that it's used as a catalyst, the rate of reaction is going to increase. But how? So here you will get the formation of Ri plus Cl minus. So this indicates that here I minus, that is the iodide, acts as a good nucleophile. It acts as a good nucleophile because here the role is different. Here it acts as a nucleophile. I minus acts as a nucleophile. And here again, if you carry out the hydrolysis of our alkyl iodide, the alcohol is going to be obtained, and in this reaction I minus acts as a good living group. It acts as a good living group, and so in this way I minus can act both as a good nucleophile and as a good living group. So this is also known as nucleophilic catalysis, and so in this way the good living group, the effect of living group. So what type of living group must be present? So I minus is the best or good living group, means it is the conjugate base of a strong acid. In the same way, the OH minus and OR minus, these are also the second thing, that the OH and OR minus, that is the hydroxy group and the alkoxy group, are bad living groups. Are bad living groups. Means here the carbon hydroxyl bond or the carbon OR bond cannot be broken easily. And so they are extremely poor living groups. This is because they are the conjugate base of a weak acid. Conjugate base of weak acid. Suppose here H2O gives you OH minus and ROH gives you RO minus. Here this is a weak acid, and water, it's also a weak acid. So these are the conjugate bases of the weak acids. So for example, here the ROH on reaction, means the alcohols on reaction with bromine minus in presence of NaBr, there is no reaction. There is no reaction. But if the same reaction is carried out in presence of Br minus, in presence of HBr, instead of the salt, here acid is used. So here you will get RBr plus H2O, and this reaction is fast, and this reaction is fast. So how this thing happens? So here how it displaces, here in presence of